Hello everyone, today we're doing a 2012 to 16 D-max MUX bar. Now where you want to start is by taking the grill off, which are just some clips on the top, and then pull forward, which will release all the other clips on down below. After that, you'll want to come to the sides. You want to take out any clips. There'll be a 10mm bolt up there and other bolts along the bottom of the bumper. After that is all disconnected, you can then remove the bar, and then we'll move on to wiring. So wiring plugs back here, you have an indicator up the top, park light just in here. You just want to go off the positive and negatives and run your cabling through to attach to the bar. Okay, so we've taken the bumper off, just over here. Once again, there were just a couple of clips along the top, clips on the side, two 10mm on the bottom with a few extra clips. So not held on by much. You want to disconnect the fog lights and snip off this connector because you'll be soldering on a new connector for the new fog lights. With the crash support, what you want to do is take off that little bash tray there with a couple of 14mm bolts. This is also held on by 4 14mm, and the same with this top crash support. You'll need to take this off. Once again, a couple more 14mm up there. Once that is all disconnected, that will just pop straight off, and then we're pretty much ready to put these brackets on. This is your main bracket, which will hold the winch, will hold the bar. You've got a couple of supporting brackets that'll kind of clamp it to the chassis rail, and I'll show you that once it's on the car itself. So we'll come back once all of that is installed, and I can go over where all the bolt holes are and everything else. Alright, so we've taken those crash supports off and we put on the main bracket. So what you want to do first, use the stock bolts in these two locations on each side. Locate it side to side, make sure it's directly in the middle. After doing that, you want to grab your side brackets, pop the bolt through the chassis, and then loosely put in all of these. After you've got all of that done, tighten them all the way, and then that'll be all ready to go. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to trim the guard, make way for all the wing panels and everything like that for the bull bar. We have to remove the bumper brackets and get onto the wiring. So I'll come back after that is all done. Okay, so we've prepped the area for the bar to go on. We've done all our wiring, changed all that over. This customer is also getting some driving lights, so we've put in that harness as well. Now we'll come back once the bar is on. We'll show you the fitment of the sides, around where the headlights are and that, and how to actually bolt it to the vehicle. Alright, so we've just fitted up the bar. You want to make sure that this gap here, the rubber is just touching. That gives it enough flex for when you're going off-road, because the bar will move according to the chassis, not the body of the car, because it's body on frame. Now, fitting wise, you've got your 3 bolts on either side with adjustments up, down, left, right. Now, because this is primarily made for the D-max and not so much the MUX, even though it's the same chassis rail, same sort of degree on the bar, you will have a gap here on the light because it is different lights. You can spray all this black if you'd like, but the rubber does hide it quite well. Now with the grill, when you're putting the grill back in, basically come down here and just attach it with some zip ties, and that stops that from moving about. Now what we're going to do is get onto the wiring, so just connecting the lights up. Now, what we're going to do is get onto the wiring, so just connecting the lights up. And and putting in that center grill and the number plate. So I'll come back once that's all done and show you the finished product. Alright, so quick one just before we finish off the bar, put all the skid plates on and show you the finished product. We do get a lot of questions on how the like rotating winch number plate mount goes. So on this base bracket you have a little notch here that has to be facing up, and then on this bracket here you've got an offset hole. You want that hole to be on top, and what that'll do is once that's bolted in and somewhat tight, that'll allow that bracket to then swivel to get your number plate out of the way for when you're using your winch. This car is not getting a winch, but we still put the bracket on anyway, and it just sort of completes the build. Alright, so this is the bracket all completed. Basically you have an M8 bolt, washer on the inside, washer and nut. You don't do it up all the way, so it allows it to twist. You still want it to be firm, but you want it to rotate. Alright, we're just about to put the bash plates on now. Just a little tip. So when you're putting the bash plates on, this part here will protrude. You'll see it. So you don't have to trim it if you don't want to, but you can just by coming off this point here and traveling up. And that'll make a nice flush look with your bash trays. So if you come over here, I have cut it and just painted it satin black just to match and protect it from rust and stuff like that. But with that all done, as soon as we go put it on this bash plate, you won't be seeing any of that apron. Alright, the bar is all done. Bash plates are all on. Once again, pretty self-explanatory. You get the hardware with it, the little M6 nuts and bolts. They just go up in here. Same with the bash tray under here. 4 M6 nuts and screws with the standard hardware for the original bash plate holding the back on. That's it all done.